What with all the news about Covid-19, you might have missed the fact that this was National Pie Week. But not the team here at Midland Foods. They're still busy making pastries, pasties and sausage rolls. The big question is whether people are going to carry on buying them.
I think people are going to stay cautious for a little while, and I think, again, it's just seeing where the land lies. It's getting through this next couple of years, probably.
The worry is that consumers whose spending has already weakened in the past year or so will simply stay away from the shops, not to mention restaurants and cinemas. Ahead of the budget, the big question businesses are usually asking is how much of the fiscal pie they'll be given by the Chancellor. And there have certainly been some big promises for the East Midlands and other parts of the so-called Blue Wall. This is West Bromwich East. Until recently, Tom Watson's constituency, former deputy leader of the Labour Party, won by the Conservatives in the last election. And the whole point of this budget was supposed to be about delivering for people in these kinds of areas, improving investment, transport links, levelling up, rewarding them for, as Boris Johnson put it, lending the Tory party their votes. That, at least, was the big plan. But suddenly events have intervened. Coronavirus has already started to change things. For decades, many British manufacturers outsourced their production to China and elsewhere, making companies like A&M, which makes high-end components for aerospace, Formula One and, for all you know, your car, an outlier. Now, might the tide be turning?
Some of the people in the automotive trade have started to make more inquiries. My assumption is their supply chains closed down in China. And when the coronavirus was restricted to China, ghoulishly, I thought there were opportunities. There were potential for reshoring lots of work. Now that the virus has spread more globally, and especially into Europe, that is not such a benefit anymore.
And while there's a chance Covid-19 changes the nature of globalisation, capitalising on new technologies such as 3D printing, that's all dependent on businesses actually surviving the outbreak, both on a medical and on an economic front. For A&M, it's an existential issue. Have you ever shut down before?
Never in 17 years, not even for holidays. It'd be a huge threat if we were closed down for any length of time. Our customers have their own individual needs and they can't wait 2 or 3 weeks for us to get back up and running again.
Of course, this is just a tiny cross-section of businesses in the Midlands. But while the economic statistics have yet to tell us what the coronavirus outbreak will do to the UK economy, the early signs aren't encouraging.
We're in uncharted territory, actually, and so retailers have seen a significant disruption to supply chain. And so there's some areas within retail that are seeing a squeeze on supply, but also this is being matched by nervousness around consumers actually going out and visiting retail destinations. So it's actually coming from both angles.
Which brings us back to the budget. Does new Chancellor Rishi Sunak carry on and deliver the budget he was planning to before the outbreak, or does he change his plans? My understanding is very much the latter. As far as anyone at the Treasury is concerned, no budget has been rewritten as much as this one. It was first supposed to happen last autumn, then the election was called, it was rewritten afterwards by Sajid Javid and his team, then he resigned, then Rishi Sunak came in and rewrote it again, and now coronavirus has changed everything. And all of those plans for a big statement about investment, about the next few decades, they have been pared back, and instead it starts to feel a bit more like an emergency budget. So while you can expect it to deliver on some of those manifesto promises, more money for broadband, for roads, a higher personal allowance, an overhaul of entrepreneurs' relief, the main emphasis will not be on the future, but the right now. And right now, it's too early to know what kind of economic damage will be wrought by Covid-19. But with business nervous and markets plunging, this is a trial of fire for one of the youngest, least experienced chancellors in British history. Ed Conway, Sky News.